Hello, welcome to another hashtag Finance Friday. Can you believe that March is already here and it's just gotten off to a crazy start for us? I don't know about you, but I can barely believe the first week of March is already over and life is just going and going. And for many of you, it might have been the start of a financial year on Monday, which hopefully means that you're full of new ideas and that you're ready to hit the ground running and make 2022 financial year amazing. And I'm sure that you will. But so I thought that this would be the perfect time to really introduce this whole idea of an ideas month. And did you know that March is actually officially ideas month? Now, I didn't even know that something like this existed, but when I was thinking about what I wanted to cover this month, I was like, actually, this is the perfect topic for us to cover. So let's just maybe unpack it a little bit, because you might have never heard of this before and you're like, I don't know what we're talking about here. So let's unpack it. So I'm sure that you know, as an entrepreneur, that time is not necessarily your most valuable resource, although we do think that it is. But actually your ideas, your focus, your energy and attention are the most important ones. And it's the most valuable ones, and those are the ones that we can most easily waste, okay, if we don't manage it carefully. So what is an idea? And thought it would be helpful just to go have a look at what an idea is, maybe not, okay? An idea is not a plan, it's not a goal, it's not perfect, it's also not complete, and it's not necessarily a solution always. Sometimes it is, but not always, okay? What an idea actually is a passing thought. It's a brief glimpse into possibility and what could be or might be. And it is something that is actually too easy to forget and really easy to dismiss, right? Because ideas are not that easy to come by, and they are very easy to forget, I want to challenge you this month that you make sure that not a single one of your ideas slip through your fingers or go to waste. Okay, that's quite a tall order, because we have a lot of ideas, right? So there are different ways for us to actually manage all of the ideas that we have. It could be something as simple as putting a notepad next to your bed so that when you wake up in the middle of the night, you've had this amazing dream and you're like, oh, actually, this is such a good idea. Whether it's at night or in the morning, just go make a note immediately before you forget about it. Just please don't grab your phone, because you might wake up with all that blue light that your phone emits, right? And actually, maybe you shouldn't have your phone next to your bed in any case, but that's discussion for another day. And if you tend to get your best ideas when you're doing something like being in the shower, or while you're on your morning commute, then make a pact with yourself to actually get that idea down as soon as possible. Think about putting it in your phone or putting it in a notepad. And I know that sometimes people record epic voice notes to themselves that they can go back to at a later stage and be like, oh, that was such a cool idea. I know for myself, I do my best thinking when I'm driving, and my colleagues and my friends will probably be able to attest to this, because sometimes they get these long voice notes while I'm driving, but don't tell anyone. But you know what? When you come back to those notes and those ideas later, you might actually find that your brain has had some time to think about it, and you come up with new ways to make that idea maybe more practical or more innovative as time progresses. So always go revisit those. So, okay, cool. We know what an idea is, and maybe we've got some ideas of when those ideas might start, or when it might occur, or in what context it might occur. But if you think about the times, those moments that I've identified while you're sleeping, or while you're on your morning commute, or while you're showering, you might find that it happens when you are distracted to some extent, right? You're not necessarily focused and being like, cool, I need to think of ideas right now. So sometimes those ideas come at a time when we least expect it, right? And if you think about that mindset that you're in when you come up with those ideas, it's normally times when you have an open mind and you're just not thinking about something specific, and it just like, boom, pops up literally like that little light bulb moment. And it requires a little bit of creativity and maybe trusting yourself a little bit, right? But I want to encourage you to really pay attention to your ideas. Start writing them down, listen to them. If you had a voice note for yourself, go explore them and grow them. And during this month, we'll look at different ways to maybe do that. Now, if you think about some of the most innovative companies for 2020, not 2022, although I'm sure they will also still be on the forefront, it includes companies like Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Samsung. And you might have heard something about the culture at these companies. And you might have heard things like the fact that they've got bowling alleys and they've got sleeping pods and they've got childcare and all sorts of interesting things that actually maybe as a startup you can't afford. If you're lucky if you can have a pool table or a table tennis table or a foosball table, right? And that's fair enough, okay? It's not about the cash. It's about the environment that it creates. So if you think about the types of things that they provide to their employees, they have them because firstly, ideas happen when you're in a relaxed state of mind or in a relaxed space. Because focusing on something else helps your subconscious to start solving those problems that are niggling at you, right? Think about when you're writing exam papers at school and you started with a question and you weren't actually sure how to address it, but then as you were carrying on, your mind was working on it in the background, right? And you could come back and potentially add in the answer or add to your answer that you had previously provided. So that's the first thing. Then secondly, ideas happen for healthy brains. So think about your exercise, think about nutrition, think about rest, think about the ways that you're stimulating your brain and the types of activities that you expose your brain to. That's secondly. And then thirdly, ideas often happen in shared spaces. Think about it. Some of our best ideas come up when we're brainstorming with someone else and you're sharing your ideas and you're starting to talk through them more. So two brains are better than one. So if you're socializing and talking about these ideas, the chances are better that you're going to become able to come up with higher quality ideas and maybe even new ideas as a result of that conversation. And then number 4, ideas happen when you are encouraged to explore alternatives. Now, Google allows their employees to spend up to 20% of the time, sometimes more, to work on side projects, because that is where the creativity gets unleashed and where those new ideas can really come up. And then lastly, fifthly, ideas happen when you feel safe to fail. And I want you to think about this in your business. Are you overly perfectionistic? Are you very critical of your ideas or the ideas of your employees? Like what type of environment are you creating to be able to have new ideas? The whole concept of failing fast or failing early is really a discussion that we can have for another day, because failure is really just a step in the right direction in your learning progress. So this month, I challenge you every day to try and come up with one new idea of how to do something different or to do something new or simply to do something more efficiently. Or maybe even for someone else to do it all together, all right? Just one idea. And you don't have to use them yet. You don't need to take action on them. But just start listing out those ideas and you will be surprised by the end of the month how many cool, amazing, potentially brilliant ideas you've come up with just because you've thought about it a little bit and you've created the time and space to be able to pay attention to that. So as we unpack this whole concept of Ideas Month in March, we'll be talking around things like brainstorming and actually executing on those ideas as well, and a few things in between. I'm really excited about this month and I hope that you are too. So grab that notebook and let's get creative. And if you want to pop some of your ideas in the comments below, let's go for it. And let's start getting some vibes going as we start brainstorming and coming up with new ideas for this month. I'll see you next week. Bye.